Today, most companies are introducing coaching programs for their executives, their managers, and their frontline associates. And we think a lot of those programs have very good fundamentals. However, most of them are missing what we call coaching with intent. I'll explain a little bit more what coaching with intent means, but it's essentially developing certain mindsets, both in the coaches and in the individuals being coached, such that they have a framework, a context for achieving high performance with the coaching program. Let me share with you several facts that we know about coaching. We know that there's great power in coaching. For example, in recent studies, there were programs executed, 3-day programs, training programs, and then no coaching was done for the next 6 months. After those 6 months, only 10% of the people continued to execute some or all of the best practices. However, when coaching was interjected into the program, over the 6-month period, say once a week or several times a week, at the end of those 6 months, 95% of the people continue to execute some or all of the best practices. So there's tremendous power in coaching. There's no question about that. However, there are several mindsets that we think are critical, and we call them coaching with intent, intentional coaching. First of all, let me say that the purpose of coaching is not for you to transform other people. It is to help them transform themselves, to be a guide, to be a Sherpa, to help them transform themselves, to master life skills that will serve them in their professional lives, but also in their personal lives. The intent here is to build life skills and to give people the empowerment to achieve self-mastery. That is a very important goal. In order to achieve that, we have what we call 5 recommended intentional best practices or mindsets that you can cultivate in the coaches and in the individuals to achieve a framework for much higher performance. Intentional best practice number 1 is, of course, to build and establish mutual trust. Trust is the confidence that the other party is here to serve my interests first and foremost. That they are not mercenary, that they are missionary about their coaching, and that they have the skills and the ability to help me grow. With that belief, human productivity can go up dramatically. Intentional best practice number 2 is to help people to come to terms, to understand the why, as Simon Sinek likes to say. People will get engaged when they feel that they are tapping, leveraging their purpose in life. So as a coach, you must help people, once you build that mutual trust, to understand what it is that their life is for, what gives their life meaning, what is their life purpose, and how, by working in your company, with your products, with your services, with your people, they can live their life purpose. If people do not tap into their life purpose, coaching won't work. In order to build new skills, both behaviorally but also emotionally, you need to empower people to live their life purpose at work. Intentional best practice number 3 in coaching is to encourage a growth and success mindset throughout the process. You can do that through language. The way that the mind works is that some people believe that traits are fixed, that some people are born great and that it's innate, inherited, and that other people are mediocre and that it's also non-actionable. You can't really improve people. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, as some people like to say. Nothing could be further from the truth. Psychologist and neuroscientist Carol Dweck has proven over and over that when you help people to understand that they can grow through learning, through practice, through measurement, and they can even master new skills, when you help people to understand the power of the brain to change, the mind to change, it's called neuroplasticity. That the mind and the brain are malleable, that they can be changed, transformed, and improved dramatically. When you help people to understand that and understand the power that is within themselves, they will dramatically improve their performance and embrace the change that is required both emotionally and behaviorally, to achieve high performance. Intentional best practice number 4 is that you need to help people to wire their brains to overcome fears. Human beings are wired since millennia to avoid threats. They're wired to move away from things that are painful or threatening to them. And even in today's world, which is relatively safe from a physical point of view, people's mindsets have 3 major fears that you can help them to overcome. The first one is the fear of failure, the fear of making a mistake, and the pain and the embarrassment, the humiliation that will cause them. The second is the fear of rejection, to have someone say no, or to feel like they're an outcast. The fear of rejection is one of the greatest fears, and we can help people to overcome that and reframe that. The fear of change, where people don't want to step out of their comfort zone because people like stability. So how can we help people overcome their fears and begin to accept that these fears are perceived, but they don't have any real physical threat, and that while some of those fears, especially in the workplace where it's relatively safe, may have some pain, that pain can be used, can be reinterpreted as an opportunity, as a challenge, without allowing your brain to hijack your emotions, and you can take control of those emotions and interpret those fears, translate those fears into challenges to be overcome. Intentional best practice number 5 is to help your people learn the meaning of resilience and to practice resilience. Resilience refers to the ability to use your personal qualities, your practice, your skills, to withstand pressure, to overcome fear in the moment. It is to be able to gather your resources when you're about to execute, whether it's a presentation or an important meeting with a client. Whatever it is that is the performance skill that you need to execute, you can gather your resources calmly and execute brilliantly in the moment, withstanding the fear, withstanding the pressure, withstanding the pain, and staying in that moment and executing brilliantly. Great athletes, the Navy SEALs, surgeons, people who have very high risk, pilots, in their performance, learn to overcome fear, learn to overcome challenges through resilience. And even when they make mistakes, which are inevitable, at a much lower level of probability than those who are not masters of a skill, these high performers can translate those setbacks into learning opportunities, take the learning, gather their resources, and move forward. So part of resilience is not just executing brilliantly in the moment, it is to also be able to interpret, reframe those setbacks, and keep moving forward brilliantly. If you can teach people those 5 skills, it would result in something that high performers, high achievers, and their coaches call being in the zone. Being in the zone is an experience that basically has several characteristics. 1, you're intrinsically motivated. You're driven by a higher purpose than yourself. You're tapping into your purpose in the moment. You're not worried about material rewards, money, any of those other motivators. You're really doing it because it's your life purpose and it's who you are as a human being. You're very clear about your goals and you find them challenging, but you clearly see them as attainable. You're completely engaged, you're concentrated, you have focused attention, what we call deep focus. You're very clear as to what needs to be done. You feel calm, you feel timeless. And very importantly, while you're in that moment, you're open and you seek feedback so that you can adapt in the moment. And very importantly, you know that that goal is achievable because you've practiced, you've been coached. And so you see a great balance, a wonderful balance between your skill level and the challenge presented. You know you can do it. If you can coach with intent, you can dramatically improve the performance levels of people versus mainstream or very rote types of coaching. When you can engage the emotions of human beings, you're coaching with intent. Thank you.